behind. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here it is about that time again to really bring out some tough nails, as tough as can be, drivers. And right now, these GOAT Racing League boys with the Sim 500 Truck Series are about to get a taste of what it feels like to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Oh yeah, you know what it is. Rockingham Speedway, back on the track and back on the show here on Pizza Race TV. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader Christian Driver, out of the car and into the booth. Great to hear from you all, and great to see you all back on the show. As we get started line here on the show, well, I'll be darned that old Charles Van Schike's going to finally get himself the #1 seed here in the top spot. In the 23, the outside, and the 14, though, Red League Joey Gattina. Row number 2 is Glenn Campbell. Number 4, the outside, the 19, it is the reign of terror himself, Tyler Dalton. Row number 3 is Shaq Coleman. The 5, the outside, the 28, Doy Woods. Row number 4, Shannon Wood. The 02, the outside, the number 7, Scott Simley. Run number 5 is Brian B. Macklin, and the outside, and the 35 is Jeff Ryan. Run number 6, the 87, Steve Rudder to the outside, and the 84, Anthony M. Galatani. Row number 7, that will be piloted by Mike Kelly, and the number 6, the outside, and the 8, Maurice Burnett. The 15 is Joe Hudson, with the 24, Cody Sturgill. Cody Kramer, the 42. Well, I couldn't get them all in. Here we go, green flag's out, we're off and running here. Stage number 1 begins. I couldn't get them all in, so I'm going to try to name off what I didn't there. The 42 is Cody Kramer, the 80 is James Smith, the 75 is Alan Wild, EJ O'Rourke is the 41, the 18 is Philip Schmitz, Russell Ottaway is the 89, the 07 is Dejan Monte, the 97 is Jeff Ramsdell, Gary Rillingstein is the 96, and the 60, John Higman Jr. Whew, okay. Well, now we can get to the actual racing action here. Apologies for messing up on that. I kind of got in a little later than I was supposed to here. But nevertheless, certainly not feeling the latest goal of that there right now. Just trying to get the spectacle of being able to face off on a track as tough as it comes with Rockingham Speedway and the site. Hard drive off for the first set of turns. Galatani in the 84 making his way down to the track. Ref Ryan in the 35 with the 87 and Steve Ritter right in that mix as well. All drivers right now trying to shoot for the gaps, shoot for the buzz, shoot for the speeds, and look for what they can do here. You'll see a lot of that kind of toying around here. The big race here at 25 and lap number 55. So 58 laps of the distance here for the rest of the remainder of the race. My comment earlier this part of the show, it wasn't to reflect on Charles being bad or anything. Charles Van Schike's probably one of the most talented drivers I've seen on the show. He's always just said, though, in these broadcasts, I cannot qualify to save my life for one. So he got the #1 seed. So now we get to see how he handles pressure and how he deals with drivers coming through back from the pack to try to catch him here. That's where my little reference kind of came from at the beginning of the show. Very impressive so far to see him. Guys, right now he continues to face off with Katina down there. The rest of the field right now just trying to hang on and do what they can on the rest of the march of the barge. Sean Shriver joining us here on the call here. Great to hear from you, Sean. I know I've got some CG versus the World boys somewhere around in this broadcast, so let's let them in on it. Your boy is in the top 10 right now, cracking for the number 7 Mobile 1, Scott Simley. Mile length, high banks, toughest corners can be. Got to really roll through these turns and make sure your openings are only as good as they come. Don't let the other driver try to outsmart you. Don't let them try to outrace you. You stay focused on just making your marks and hitting your corners. Let's break more speed. As the late great Earnhardt once told a young Steve Parks down there. And that's exactly what they're kind of doing right now. Just kind of continuing to maneuver through and stay in proximity and close traction. Nobody wanting to give the immediate openings just yet. They're going to stay nice and smooth for their corners in the distance. Kramer on the inside here of old Joe Hudson, the number 15. And Hudson last week down at Starvar Speedway having a pretty good little run in the Next Gen Cup car, but unfortunately he fall victim, as like many others did, to the reign of terror himself, Tyler Dalton. And even some of them, like EJ O'Rourke, wanted to try to have a little bit more of a piece of the pie throughout the races, throughout the couple weeks he's been on the show. He got very fortunate down in Bristol Motor Speedway to take down the best there with a very strong brigading strategy, but unfortunately at Pocono, that was not the same situation. He'd find himself in a very dark spot, wrecking out one and then taking himself out later on. He told me earlier the day, I've got to just stop pulling a Chastain out there and start actually making the best of my equipment, the best of my runs, and hope that I don't end up on the receiving end of one of them. I just kind of looked at him and I said, well, the fact that you compared yourself to Chastain down there, I think it's probably just a show of itself. Uh-oh. Trouble down there. Dakota Kramer, the 42 OnlyFans. Problems on the back straightaway here for him. They'll bring it to a dead stop here. Not as our stage one continues on. Massive blown motor though in the 42. The OnlyFans may be done for the day. Break it down to the PTM Race TV. It's a replay. Let's take a look at this one. See what happened here. Come off turn number 1 and 2. Looks like Kramer got a little too tight for his own good, and it relinquishes himself to the Shadow Realm. Just his own undoing, unfortunately. He took a nasty little hit too. Bashing the front end completely into the inside wall. It's extremely loose down there. There's a big little ripple down on that corner. If you hit it, it almost sends the truck into a death roll, if you will, and that's where you don't want. This is where it was at right here. There you see it. Came off that flat spot, rolled it right through it. Once you hit a flat spot with a truck as heavy as this thing, that thing will not hold on. You got to have it low center of gravity and light as can be to get past that. When you got a heavy weight of artillery and machine being used like that, there's not a whole lot of drivers that can actually save it from there. So a very tough, unfortunate situation there on lap number 10 there for Kramer. That will set the field back up into the paces here. Charles Van Schaik, Columbia number 23 Fast Lane Machine, trying to stay ahead of Joey Katina in the Sim 500 camp. Kind of a bit of a war of leagues here, if you will, because really the Sim 500 gang was not with us last season. They were doing their own things on the Tuesday night portions, and as you may also remember, we actually did broadcast for a little bit of their league action as well. And one of those guys, that is one of the founding fathers and also the guys that roll it around and also stole my number, Joey Gattina, ends up being one of those guys that is currently one of the big proprietors of the Sim 500 gang. Of course, you probably also know that old reign of terror himself down there, Tyler Dalton, definitely a big associate of it as well. But Charles Van Schaik, representing his GOAT Racing League camp, always wanted to give it the best show and the best opportunity, but he wanted to bring in some tough competition, so he said, let's let these guys come in and let's have a battle out there. So this is now what we have come to. Although I think it is kind of safe to say that Van Schaik has had the better of Katina in terms of raw power control and displays here on the racing surface. Not to say that he can't find a way to try to take him down a few notches or take him on, but it is extremely difficult to do, and it is very troublesome to master. Only the best may figure it out. Well, we're going to double up yet again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get 11 laps left the distance here before we call our stage break. Hey, why not? Let's go take a look at our racetrack info presented in part by our friends at Sim 500 Racing League. Rockingham, North Carolina is the location. Mile and length, and, well, just under a mile actually, but if you go on the outside, I'm pretty sure you can get a full mile on this track. What makes Rockingham so precious and difficult to master, though? High banks. High banks in 1 and 2, high banks in 3 and 4, progressive banked on the back straightaway, and that flat straightaway on the front stretch. It allows for multiple grooves, but it also means multiple trouble if you don't know how to hit it right. And I'll tell you, we just saw a minute ago what happens when you dare try to tame the tight flat edges of turn 2. Turn 4 will be a little bit easier to master, but you got to watch out for that outside wall retainer there. So keep a close eye on that as we bring him back to the green flag restart zone, back underway. Down off the corners here, down through turn number 1 and 2 here, and Glenn Campbell, Tyler Dulles, and John Coleman having a little war of words. Brian V. Macklin as well, lingering around back there. He's already trying to find his way around the chutes. Whoa, and speaking around the chutes, Coleman, his little love tap there to the old Reign of Terror himself. The Navy Brat has had his fair share of run-ins with drivers this season, but he's also had his number on a few of these guys. We're going to try to get it done today. Joey Katina, the Sim 500 number 14 F-150. Trying to get himself to the top spot for the first time this season and initiate his launch sequence to the playoffs. He's got a lot of company down there currently trying to fight his way up with him, and other drivers currently fighting with everything else they got. Calatani trouble there to turn number 2 as the 84 gets squared back up. Big puff of smoke there, might have got a little nudge or two there from one of the other drivers, but Calatani falling further back. It surely is TG versus the world. The world is against the talking giant himself. Here comes O'Rourke right now. Well, I don't think I really need to say anything about these two. It literally started this entire beginning of this whole season. You know there's a rivalry that's brewed between these guys. O'Rourke, I don't think really cares too much. Calatani probably more than anything thinks back to that fateful day in Daytona. And every time these two go head to head with one another here, you just gotta hold your breath and just watch out. Because it has more of a rivalry than I would say Larson and Ross Chastain can have right now. Interesting strategy here by Van Schaik. He's going to the bottom lane right now, kind of securing that rhythm on the bot. Trying to stay a little bit more towards a different line than Katina and Glenn Campbell are. Both guys were on the outside. Macklin's kind of sticking to that run too. Both drivers trying to sneak their way in the inside though here, and it looks like Macklin found himself a little run, found himself a little bit of an opening. Campbell trying to hold down. Not a whole lot of room down there to be making the mistake, and he knows it. Hanging around the back there, Doy Woods, Jack Coleman also hanging in the top 10. Mike Kelly, Shannon Wood, and EJ O'Rourke right now. Your top 10 bracketed up with the race leaders continuing to just do their thing. And trouble down there in the back straightaway yet again. It is Russell Ottaway this time. The Sweetwater 89. Blown motor on the truck there. We'll see what happened with the PT Racing TV Instant Replay presented by Sim 500 Racing League. This is the reason for the 89's demise here. Well, last time it was Kramer that got a little too loose. This time it was too tight for Russell as he had traffic in front of him there. It looked like, unfortunately, there was nothing he can do about the number 80 of James Smith there, and that would end up destroying the truck outright. Deal Bay, yep, there he goes. Nothing you can really do about that. Motor has blown up on that one. No instant repairs in this race, I may add. So that means whatever you brought to the track, that's what you race. And I believe that will bring us to the end of stage number 1. I'll be right back, folks. I gotta kind of hop off the mic for a second. I'll be right back. Check. We good? We back? Alright, cool. So back with you guys live on the show here. Sorry about that. Let's take care of some unfinished business there. Coming down through turn 1 and 2, though, coming from a restart. Katina, running the race lead at least right now to the Chevrolet camp now. Glenn Campbell is your new leader, the TSN service. I'm going to build a little bit of extra give and a little bit of power down around the track here. Fires it back down through off of turn number 4. He's got a pretty sizable distance there. Mike Kelly also still searching for his first win of the season, kind of making his way back there. Now Glenn Campbell no stage points this season, no wins this season. They would certainly love to change that right now, but to do so, you got to find your route, find your way. Getting a good jump on it is simply just by popping in the race lead here. Here's another guy that's honestly about as outspoken as they come. The number 28 Denver Mattress Furniture's Road, Doy Woods. He's probably, honestly, out of all of them, probably the one that is an interviewer's dream come true or a interview's nightmare, depending on how you want to go for a PR stunt or PR guy. Doy does not hold back on his words. He will pretty much say what he's thinking and give you what he's feeling. And he's right now driving the heck out of it with Chad Coleman there on the bottom lane. Coleman slight damage on the inside of that truck. Probably from a little scrape into the wall or with some other drivers earlier. Having to go head-to-head here with that TSN service number 6 and Mike Kelly as well. Certainly doesn't help his cause any. But back behind them, Ball here. Big runs coming from Jerry Livingston, Jeff Ramsdell, and Dejan Monte. And Brian V. Macklin. Gap's so important here and very crucial to the run they come through with. And it all just hinders on one right time, one right move. And then the rest, as they say, is history. Scott Simley here moving up the chains now into the 7th spot in the number 7. Jeff Ryan for the 35 going up to the 6th position. Ryan also having quite a season for himself here. He's had a lot of great opportunities to try to take amends in the racing, but he has not been able to put it in victory lane or take a stage win home just yet. Would that change today? It's feasible and plausible, but he's got to keep working hard at it. Backing around, almost 3 wide there coming on turn number 2. Ramsdell, Wild, and Macklin, they threw everything they had to the wire there, and it looked like Wild got a little tight. Wild Macklin to kind of shoot up the outside. Wild backing off as now it is between Ramsdell and Mr. Macklin. The Mac Attack is coming back with the Navy Brat rocking it out here at the Rock. Well, I made some numerous nicknames for Tyler Dolan, but again, I think I'm always going to stick with the Reign of Terror as his nickname, but there's really no way to stop him, honestly. Even when you wreck the guy out on the first lap of all things at Charlotte Speedway, he still somehow finds a way to make it right and make a move up to the top spot, and EJ over. Oh my! I thought earlier on we said he was not going to be too aggressive down there, but apparently he threw that out the window. The personal comfort 41, nothing left on his table but to make the run for it. He passes Monte and Galatani in a big 3 wide corner off of turn number 2. That is a very risky move, to say the least here. As I was saying just a minute ago, where I kind of got interrupted by Orwork's craziness there, I was going to say, like, you got wrecked, you get spun and wrecked out first lap, you somehow get the car figured out or fixed up and then get back out of the race and just dominate from there. It's crazy to me that no one's been able to figure out how to kind of gain that power, gain that speed, but yet everyone has still been trying their darndest. They've been doing everything they can. These truck series, though, I always love the fact they're a bit of an equalizer. They're a bit of an opening for others to kind of figure out, especially on the shorter tracks to the bigger tracks. We know with flight racing, they're extremely durable and valuable there, but honestly, if you really put into consideration what they can do on these short tracks and these miles along tracks like this one here, I think this really kind of hinders on 2 factors: strategy, timing, and execution. It focuses more on those aspects and makes drivers work a little bit harder, as Doy Woods works a little bit hard to try to make a move off of Cantina. Couldn't quite clear him on turn 4, had to back out of it. And instead of double trouble for him, he's going to suffer triple trouble for that one. The Mac Attack is back, and he is prowling through, looking for a win, looking for stage points. Glenn Campbell, though, way ahead of him. Glenn's trying desperately to finally knock a stage win off, and maybe, if he's lucky enough, a race win. Scooting back to the pack here right now. Wild man all of a sudden just losing out all that speed in the Alpha Man podcast. He's falling back with James Smith here right now as the Old Bay. Bay by the Bay. Old Bay number 80. James Smith trying to see if he can kind of linger around back there. Remember earlier on he got a little bit into trouble there at Russell Ottaway. I don't think by any means of his own fault. It was just unfortunately got into that wall. Russell coming up too quick and couldn't quite slow it down in time. By having to face the consequences of what happened and understanding of it. Best lap times on your screen right now here is currently we're looking at a 24.26 for your leader Glenn Campbell. It's the fast time, but he's already given up time to Brian V. Macko as well, who is set at 24.40 as his fastest. A time of 24.19 was just set by Joey Katina there. And he is trying so hard to get this thing dialed up and cooked up. Remember, in the oval world, fast times are one thing. You can be fast all you want, but unless you're consistent, it's pointless to even worry about how fast you can run a one-lap run in a 113-lap race. Dwight Woods, woo! Slide job there on turn number 1 to 2. He really just let that thing rip. Katina had nowhere to go, had to back out of it. And Woods just said, I've had enough of this. Very aggressive racing and very strategic racing there. But again, as long as you are clear, driver behind, in theory, should back off. But you don't want to get too crazy on those dive bombs still. You got to be very aware if those dive bombs get too out of hand eventually, on asphalt anyway. Drivers take notice, and they just stopped caring after that. Well, a lot more camera right now. Brian V. Macklin, by the way, has taken the lead away from Glenn Campbell. Campbell right now, again, looked like he may have overdone it a bit there, giving up too much time to Macklin and opening the door up for this pass we're about to see right here on the show. Let's take a look and see how this all came to be. And it looks like it all hindered around tire wear, strategy, and baseline of the run. Campbell had a good lead there. Remember, he had a whole full second and 3/10 at most on the second place driver, which with the time was Katina. But watch this. Drove it in deep. Drove it too wide. Right side's burnt up. And Macklin going on the attack. You can't let the Navy brat have any kind of feel or any kind of openings there. That was the deal, and that is what's going to cost him. Macklin is your new leader, and right now he's trying to keep everybody behind him as long as can be, while at the same time trying to deal with the pressure that faces him up. Calatani earlier on getting kind of tripped up there and getting thrown for a little bit of a loop from the 3 wides, and the crazy racing that ensued. O'Rourke right now struggling to keep up his speed from earlier. Tyler Dalton much the same. Jeff Ryan even too. So it looks like Rockingham is now starting to be an underdog's paradise. It's actually favoring the drivers that are going to heed the warning of the high banks and read the script that they run off of, which is don't mess with the rock or the rock will put you in a real hard place. Nice crossover there by Calatani there on the number 5 of Chad Coleman. Executed to perfection. Wasn't quite a slide job like what we saw there from Woods to Katina, but it was a very well executed move there by Calatani. From 3 to 4. Coleman trying to stay relatively his own line, trying to stay in his own sights and position. If you're watching on your cell phone or your television screen, do not adjust your screen. You do not see fuzzies or burleys there. It's actually the dirt that comes on from the gravel and all that from the track thrown into the windshield. They do have windshield tear-offs in this, and yes, it is very realistic. I'll tell you that right now. About 4 laps remaining here for Macklin to take the stage break win yet again. It was Van Scheidt that took the stage break points there from that last go, and he's trying to do it again. And now it's Macklin now looking to take this one. Oh, Calatani right into the wall, hard off the right side there. The right front taking a nice little ding to it. It's one thing you don't want to take a good dinger to any kind of these runs. That had to have hurt a little bit. Now with a lap traffic, Kramer. Oh, side skirt, side bump. Whoa, oh my. Rubbin is racing there, my friends, and Dakota Kramer blocking Calatani and Simley's run. Calatani had no idea what he was going to do, so he just had to make a move. And unfortunately, it was right into the side there of Scott Simley. Both guys able to stay at least on all fours and not spun into a collision of oblivion. The DuPont 97 Rams. Oh my. Trying to find a run there on old Coleman, but Coleman almost getting completely shafted in the corner there. Nearly 3 wide shooting off. Philip Schmitz there hanging around back in the position. We forgot all about him. He's been quietly moving up 12 spots here. He started back in 22. He's currently in 10th. Final laps coming up. Macklin gonna get his stage win. So stage number 2 gonna go to him here. Glenn Campbell, Mike Kelly, Doy Woods, Calatani, Gattina, Simley, Coleman, Ramsdell, and Schmitz. Your top 10 from this one. What a show so far, race fans. And we're just getting to the halfway point. When we come back, there's plenty more to see on Pizza Race TV. Welcome back here on the Pizza Race TV, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, crit stops now being made up on the track here. Macklin, Campbell having a great little fight out there, but it would end up being Campbell who loses out that war with Macklin. Macklin taking control of it. What will the Persistence do here now, though, and will these drivers be able to kind of sneak their way into control? Out of pit road, looks like it will be Macklin getting the spot out. Campbell going to get second. Kelly going to get third. Woods faltering back. Loses out to Kelly and Calatani. Joey Gattina, Scott Simley, Jeff Ramsdell, and EJ O'Rourke, your top 10 from pit road. Giles Van Schaik right now late to the party, and looks like he took all 4 tires on that one, so I think he's got a plan here. Well, Glenn knows he's going to have to try to make amends for what he did there. Losing that one outright had to hurt a little bit. Macklin, though, knows those stage points are extremely beneficial and crucial to his end goal when the playoffs begin, because he knows there's a little reign of terror back there that's been pretty much dominating every inch of these seasons that he's been in. All those also trying to make a run for it. Countani in the playoffs already. Mike Kelly desperately wants to get in there. He's been so close to getting that win, looking to try to knock it down. Doy Woods, well, let's just say he's been very outspoken on the times he feels like his strategy should have won it outright. Time to put up or shut up here now, because these drivers are about to feel the absolute roar that only you can get here. And the Rockingham Speedway has now brought him back to life one more time. Here we go. Oh no, there's trouble though. Problems down there. The A7 of Steve Ritter coming to a dead screaming halt on the front straightaway. Caution is out. You saw him trying to avoid the wreckage on the front half there as they were coming off the line. See if we can get a look at what exactly transpired. Coming off the restart there. Bobby Skinner, great to hear from him. He says, let's know from where he says we're on the playoffs. I'll let you know in just a minute. Oh, EJ O'Rourke, whoa. O'Rourke looked like he just got Chastain down there. Something happened down that one. I don't know, maybe he didn't get off the line or what went wrong. But I think that's the first time I've seen O'Rourke on a restart anyway have problems. Oh yeah, right there, Scott Simmel, he didn't even get off the line. Ryan just got right into him. And then all that happened. Oh my. Take one last look at it. See if we can get a better camera angle here. Let's see if we can get a full look at this. Here we go. See, Doy doesn't go. Doy was going. Simley thought he got a start. Poor Ritter, man. He just got completely bashed in and owned in the 80 there, unfortunately, as well. Take a little tumble now. I'm not saying O'Rourke can't work with what he's got, but I will say he had a lot of damage back at Bristol Motor Speedway and won that race out there too. So, but I would say Rockingham is no Bristol Motor Speedway. So, take that for what you will. Well, I am not repeating what Bobby Skinner said in the comments section there, but definitely a very unfortunate situation there for everyone involved. Taking a look at when the playoffs do begin. The playoffs begin on June 13th, and that starts with Talladega. So in between, we have 3 more races left after this. Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway / WWT Raceway. Indianapolis Motor Speedway's Oval, you know which one we're talking about, the Brickyard itself. And finally, Nashville Super Speedway on June 6th to round it out. That means anybody has not got some stage points or not got a win, desperation may be starting to set in just a little bit. But when we get into those playoffs, guys, well, let's just say we got a huge round-by-round basis. We have 5 tough tracks to master. A couple big tracks, a short track, and a couple short tracks, and a whole lot of racing with it. Talladega Super Speedway on the 13th of June. The 20th is Richmond Raceway. On the 27th, we'll be at Homestead Miami Speedway. Take a week off for the 4th of July. Auto Club Speedway on the 11th of July. And finally, on that championship race, Phoenix Raceway. That will be the race set. So this is one of 4 races left, Bobby Skinner. Well, it's going to be a tough little restart here for these drivers because now they know they got to keep their distance at least and set the track up. But getting the run you want as well off the start, it's going to be easier said than done for some. A lot of focus here on this next one. Coming to the line here, ready to bring him back to the green flag. Wave him off. Let's get going to it again. Much, much better restart. No stages now. It's all racing from here, boys. Clay Campbell and Galatani trying to make his way into the fight off here. Doy Woods sneaking his way in position. Brian Macklin having all he can have right here. Comes Mike Kelly, though, the inside. Mike wants this one, and he needs it too. But he's going to have to watch out, because if he burns up that rubber facing Macklin, he knows what will happen late in the run. He doesn't seem to care. All he cares about is doing what he knows he must do. Oh, watch out, Glenn! Ooh, Glenn Campbell, man. Oh, my goodness. He saved that one. And they're 3 wide. That's not good, though. Oh, my. Oh, my. This is what I was worried about with the 3 wides there on this one. Oh, my goodness. Glenn Campbell got tripped up by Doy Woods, and Doy getting right into it there with Galatani, and Glenn Campbell, unfortunately, a massive pile up down here in turn number 1. And Trucking Giants versus the World, unfortunately, will end at this one. Thankfully, though, he will be at least okay, and as a driver, he's alright, but this is what happened here. This is the full rundown that led to this moment right here. Watch the 4. Try to shoot up the corner. Nice save there by him, and nice driving by Galatani. Look at Woods, though. Drove it right in. He was trying to set the corner up. There's nothing Glenn Campbell can do. And all the other drivers just trying to get out of there before it was too little too late. But unfortunately, what a nasty, nasty wreck on that front straightaway here. Glenn just got completely destroyed and banished to the Shadow Realm there. He couldn't even get out of the wall. Galatani, Doy Woods in pit road right now, destroyed up, and I think there may be some words that will be shared out between those guys for a little bit. I will say, I don't condone trying to go 3 wide here if you don't have to, but I will give Doy credit where credit's due. He had to make a move, and he had to do something to try to get that pass done. It wasn't overly aggressive. The downside, though, was that he just did not get it to corner. And when you can't corner here on this track, well, let's just say that's exactly the results you're going to almost end up with. Earlier, the corners were good from those original 3 wides. They were able to clear them out and stay relatively out of problematic territory. This time, though, it did not succeed. It did not, and it superseded into trouble. Which now brings us to yet another caution on the track. This field of drivers now, they're pretty well aware of what's going to happen now if they don't get things figured out. Laps are quickly dwindling. Coming down around off of turn number 4 here, lingering back into position here. The green flag dropping back on out. We're back underway. Mike Kelly going to try to outrun the field. He's got some heavy hitters behind him though. Macklin, Telton, Hudson, and Ramsdell. Ramsdell's been close to this season and popping some victory lane trips here. Looking to try to get it done today here as we go head to head here now onto that front straightaway. About 40 laps remain. Time, execution, and all that very crucial here. They're aware of it. Bobby Steiner says when you have the opportunity to go 3 wide and squeeze the middle guy up with 50 laps to go, you just got to do it. Oh, I don't disagree. Like I said, I agree with that. It's just unfortunately, if you can't get that truck to corner, the results will vary, and unfortunately, on a track like this, they're as sharp as they can be on those turns. You have got to get that truck to corner off, or you're going to be getting sentenced to the Shadow Realm. There's just not much you can do there. I've been in the same shoes as him before, and I've done the same thing as well. And I've been in the same position too before, so. Playoffs coming up so quickly here in these last bit of these races as well. It really forces drivers into a very temperamental state of mind and a big frame. Kelly right now holding down Dalton and Macklin, at least for now. Imagine this, getting your first win holding down 2 of the toughest drivers in this league. I'd say that's a win-win if I ever heard one. Charles Van Sciker, number 1 seed here, falling back a little bit, trying to get right back up there to the front. Started out with an impressive run out of the gate, but then pretty much lost it out right there later on, just by simply making a few too many mistakes from pit road to the back, and now hoping for traffic start doing themselves in a little bit. Here we go now, Kelly. Company on his door, straight to the inside. This is what he did not want to have happen. Macklin is going on the attack. Can he hold it? Can he hang on? Oh, he does this time. Kelly fights him off. Great defensive work there by Kelly, shooting the outside, gapping him off, forcing him to lower down the speed so he doesn't tear the tire out. Macklin though is persistent, he's a little bit crazy too. He'll make sure he works for it. Kelly's almost kind of taking up all the lanes too. This is actually a pretty brilliant strategy, but also makes it more difficult. Because if you try that, you still leave a big gap there on the lanes there to use. And that's exactly what Macklin's going to use there. He's going to the bottom, shooting for it. Side by side now, Tyler Dalton looking to play the instigator and use Kelly as a reverting shield, if you will, to keep Macklin on his toes, to force him to drive a little harder off. East driver just giving it their heart and their soul. They're reaching speeds well over 163 to 164 miles per hour. Some going as hard as 165 in some turns. And all hitters on that back straightaway and that front straightaway as well. Dalton now lingering around. Macklin trying to see where the run is going to be at, where the openings will be. Looking for another opening. Can he get him on the inside? No! Down the Bergusa back then. Macklin could not get it to go. Kelly, oh, he shot to the bottom. Is he leaving room? Can Macklin corner him? Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get him just yet. He's getting kind of trapped in that dirty air too. I wonder, is that a factor right now? Is Macklin currently fighting the dirty airflow around the 6's truck? If that is the case, it's actually giving him a bit of a shield here to use. James Skinner has joined us as well here. Great to have you on board as well, sir. I'm pretty sure your Talking Giants versus the world leader is not too happy about the truck right now, but I'm pretty sure he's glad to see you guys down there, so we appreciate you always tuning in as well. And speaking of tuning in, looks like Macklin tuned up the outside, and now he finally shoots down for that. Kelly now has to try to use the bottom lane. Oh, he undershot that turn. He undershot it. He's trying to hold it. Macklin, though, is going to get the better of him in turn 4. I knew as soon as he got right on that apron, he undershot that corner. He was trying to save it. And now Macklin, just almost literally playing possum with him, has now found his way back into the race lead. He's been extremely dominating this season. 3 wins, 2 on asphalt. The only driver to win on the dirt side. And honestly, that was his first win of the season too, ironically enough. Slight clip into the wall protection for Ramsdell there in the 97, trying to hold it down with the 14. He'll continue trying to sneak his way back on the inside here. Charles Van Schaik desperately trying to build more momentum to get back to the front. Van Schaik, will he do what we saw Doy Woods try earlier and deliver the 3-wide salute? It's going to be very difficult though, because with these two driving as hard as they are, you almost got to time a shot literally out of the dark, and looks like he doesn't have to worry about it. He'll get 1 for now. He's got Ramsdale on the inside here, backing it off, trying to get the Columbia 23 right to the Sim 514, but he's dealing with the DuPont 97 behind him. Behind, in front, on his side, wherever he is at right now, he is currently being a nuisance to him in his book. 26 laps remain. O'Rourke down to the bottom corner hard, back into the corner there. Right now he's just trying to stay whatever laps he can on for the lead lap, but he knows he's already kind of got his goose cooked. Blue flag flying there at the 41. He doesn't want to get any DQ penalties here, so he's having to back out of it. Remember, if you disrespect the blue flag turns into a black flag. You don't want that. The Interstate Batteries number 18, currently your hard charge of the day. Philip Schmidt's done a great job staying relatively in his own ground, in his own racing clearance. And again, he's not been the level of speed that you usually receive for a winter spot, but really he's kind of like me in terms of like what I do on earlier today, which is just stay consistent. And I usually be up in that 3rd, 2nd spot more often than not for a time. Schmitz is kind of that same deal. He has the speed, he has the tempo, but he just doesn't have that one factor that just drives it to victory lane. It's extremely difficult to find and difficult to master as well. Well, Mike Kelly, man, give him credit where credit's due. The TSN service has not left Macklin off here. He's still right there with him. Tyler Dalton, kind of been patient here. That's kind of surprising, because usually you see Dalton, he's always trying to find another way to make a big move or make a big jump to that race position. I'm kind of surprised. He's been almost kind of quiet today. Is he possibly just saving the equipment and saving himself for what is to come, I wonder? Kelly right now losing now traction. Dalton finally getting around the number 6. Macklin trying to outsmart the field again. Dalton will be his last remaining competitor that has a chance here. Joe Hudson in the 15. Barring any mistakes from anyone else, he might have something. But right now he's got nothing to get back onto the front, get to the top spot here, considering how hard these drivers are getting to it. Back up to the front here and into the middle of the grounds here right now. Jeff Ryan, Joey Katina, Philip Schmitz, and Charles Van Schaik. They all have a piece of the pie they're looking for. Katina, especially big run in the number 14. Driving it hard on Jeff Ryan. Ryan trying to hang the Valvoline 35 right on the outside line, but it is Katina who has the advantage. Philip Schmitz trying to sneak back in there, but he's losing ground and losing it fast. Van Schaik looking to make the pass on the outside, and he is successful for the most part there. So quick, so frenetic, and so incredibly precise. Each driver very well aware and timingly executing their shot into the dark, hoping for the best that they can get and just hoping that they don't find themselves in a very tough ordeal. Jeff Ryan right now, look at this point, probably just hoping he can just seemingly stay in an innocuous top spot for a top 10. Bracket it up and see what he can do for later. Schmitz, Scheich, Ryan, this is your battle for 7th. Macklin trying to get to Dalton, staying ahead of Dalton. Dalton trying to get his time clipped up. He's only got about 0.6 of a second left on him. But he is running out of time as well. 14 laps left to go. Katina with a little of a late rally there, moving into the top 10, and now look for the top 5 with Coleman ahead of him by about 0.7 of a second. The gap starting to bridge and become more and more of a factor here. A lot of great climactic sequences of events right now being used up. Jerry Livingston even too. I even forgot about him. He's 15 spots up right now. He's the hard charger, and he's in 10th here. Livingston showing some maple moxie down there. Speaking to the inside, right out of the corner. Scheich finally going to run on Ryan, and Ryan not able to defend him back. And now he's going to fight away with Schmitz right on his corner. And just from this camera alone, you could just see how much of that 160 plus mile per hour speed is used up. You slow down for maybe about 10 miles to 40 miles, to about 20 miles per hour less. Next thing you know, someone just comes flying in at you like a harpoon. Oh, and speaking of like harpooning something, Van Scheich just harpooned the wall off turn number 2. Stayed in the gas though and kept it on the corner, so at least it wouldn't get to Ryan though. Smart driving on Scheich's part, but man, how much damage did he suffer just taking that hit? The way these guys are going at it, they're giving Livingston a little bit of breathing room here. He might have something for him. Still trying to be cautiously optimistic though, not trying to put himself in a bad spot he doesn't need to be in. He's well aware of the sacrifices it takes just to win these kind of races, these kind of positions. He just hasn't been able to get it to victory lane. Oh no! Jeff Ryan gets clipped up down in turn number 1. We've got a spinner and we got a caution. And that was not what Macklin or anybody else for that matter really wanted to see or even need to even think about. But a very tough ordeal there. Schmitz drove it in tight. He had to drive it in hard, and unfortunately Ryan nowhere to go. And another heartbreaking position here. Great performance from Ryan, but unfortunately finds himself on the receiving end. Slight tap there. Took a nasty little tumble on the wall. Got back in the gas, and he gets into the reverse just to get out of the way so he's not in the way of anybody. And again, I don't know if maybe it was just one of those deals where you just come into that corner so hot, but really to me it looked like Schmitz just took it in way too tight. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier with Joy Woods. Look at how he angled it in. He was, that time though, he did keep it close. Closer than Woods was able to. Unfortunately though, Ryan was also trying to keep it tight, and a racing ordeal followed. Although Ryan would probably try to tell you otherwise there. At least from the point of view of my camera end here, I would say that was a racing ordeal. Right sides, left sides, all that going on. Tyler Dalton out of pit road immediately. Macklin trying to hurry out before it's too little too late. Van Scheich trying to hurry. Katina trying to get out of there too. Everybody just jumping out quick. Look at this. EJ Overwork stays on out. He's got a damaged up 41, but it looks like he's going to try something here. And Overwork, by the way, on lap 70 was the last time he went to pit road, so it looks like now he'll actually be going in. I think he was hoping to maybe find a little bit of an extra little giddy up here, maybe to kind of force Dalton in them, but nope, not enough time. He'd try as he might, he wasn't able to quite get it there just right. Well, taking a look at it now, Dalton has got right sides. Macklin's got all four. Kelly has all four. Coleman with all four. Katina with all four. Cody Sturgill's the only other one that took right sides from that pit stop. This is a bold move here, in my opinion, folks, because, again, this right now shows the mindset and the frame of mind Dalton is in. He thinks he's got enough on the left side tires to hold off the run for Macklin. The downside, though, with this track is that right front is good for holding the grip and keeping the power up when you have to corner off the exits, but to enter the entry, you need those left fronts to grip just enough to shoot the truck inside and inward to get a good runoff. I don't know if this is necessarily going to be enough for Dalton to hold on with. If Macklin gets one run or one move off him, he'll sneak it through. For Mike Kelly, though, the choice is obvious. He's got no choice. He's got to go as hard as he can on this restart. We've seen him outmaneuver and outrace Macklin and get ahead of Dalton before. But now this is an even bigger deal for him. Top 5 on your screen. 5 laps left to go. Somebody's winning this race. Here we go, race fans. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the time to be alive. What on earth will happen here? We're about to find out. Green flag is in the air. Dalton, immediately, defensive mode. Macklin, 4 tires, 4 more speed. Power off. Here comes the Mack attack. Mike Kelly trying to sneak his way on the inside. They're going to go 3 wide down through turn number 4. Coleman gets kicked up there a little bit by Dalton. Backs it up, straightening it out a little bit. Mike Kelly desperately trying to get there to Macklin. He's going to run out of time, though. Macklin is straight line shooting this thing to the wire. Katina and Mashank, oh my word. It looked like a pirouette spin through and control off. Livingston take it for a ride, and one of them going airborne in the track. That's Overwork. Oh my lord. Oh my word. This is green-white checker territory now, but what the heck happened out of the back straightaway leading into 3? What on earth happened there? Chaos, madness ensuing here. Looks, oh my. Dijon Monte went for a wild ride. Look at Overwork, though. Holy cow. He did a complete flat spin in the air there. Literally just got sent to the shadow realm, though, with everyone else kind of watching him on. We'll take another look at Monte here as well. Watch up front, too, because we're going to try and see what happened to Livingston. But here's what happened to Monte. This is, I believe, brought out the original caution. So there's the situation, 3 wide. And, yep. Same situation you saw earlier with Glenn Campbell. Jerry Livingston, though, I would consider himself a lucky man right about now. This is pure aggression right here. This is where you know you had to make a move. Ramsdale kind of shift to the bottom there. Livingston trying to save it. Nice save, by the way. Great save by Livingston on that one. Very, very impressive. Now, here's the deal, though. Macklin had to get a pretty good run there to get around to Dalton. Then he drove off. Mike Kelly wasn't quite in the same boat or the same situation. Robert Kahn, the Rattlesnake, one of the toughest drivers and one of the on the long runs and the short runs too, just said on the comment section that 6 truck has a fast short run car. I think that's your winner. It could very well be. Macklin right now though knew if he was going to get a chance at this, he had to make a move quick. He got it around Dalton. Dalton was way too tight, and exactly as I predicted, you had to have those left front tires to get that truck to corner through and secure a run to hold on with. The right sides were just to build speed and consistency. The left sides were to set your corners up. Without them, Dalton was literally at an extremely big disadvantage. But again, I will look at it from his frame of mind. He had very little choice on how he could perform. He had only so many options and so much more issues to deal with. It did not work in his favor. Is this the time? Khan says it is for Kelly. Coleman is back there lingering around. Scheich is ringing around back there. Gatina making a big run up there. And we know they have power. We'll see. This is going to be interesting here. This is a big one here. Macklin knows major playoff points up for grabs. After the last couple weeks of being wrecked out and destroyed, as he finally caught himself a break and bought himself into victory lane one more time? Or has Mike Kelly finally found the formula? We're about to find out. Green is out. We're going back to it. Green, white, checkered. Problems already for Kelly. He's got Coleman on the inside, dishing it out. Adam Macklin's running away. Macklin is already getting far enough ahead. This was his shot. This is his timing. White flag coming out. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Trouble again. Trouble again. Trouble down there in turn number 4. Alan Wild getting nasty little situation there. As well, looks like he got out of it. I don't know who all was involved. Maurice Burnett looks like he was involved. It's hard to say down there. We're going to go to a green-white checker, though, once more. And this was their final attempt as well. They have no other choices here. It looks like Burnett was not involved in it. I didn't get a full good look there, so we're going to try and see if we look at the replay. Oh, there's your culprit. Jeff Ryan, Joe Hudson, getting into it a little bit. And again, the way these races kind of come off as, the way they're getting further along, this is becoming more and more of a detriment. Hudson tried to tame him down. Ryan had nowhere to go. There was nothing he could really do about it. Hudson tried to hold his line. It just wouldn't corner in that 3 wide. And it ends up with this situation to where it's last chance opportunity. Mike has got to get something figured out here. He can't let Macklin jump the starts like that on him. He's got to find a way to get the truck to dial in. He knows Macklin will be fast. He knows he'll be tough, but he can't let him get a hole shot. Remember, as soon as that pace truck comes off, the driver that leads it has the right of way to go. But we've seen before where if you're on that lead lap and you're right with them, If you can make the move count, make the move count. The chances are running high. The pressure couldn't be any higher. This is up for grabs. Last chance. Con basically saying exactly what I said in the chat there. It says those restarts are difficult to time with when it's on leader. Best leader restarts, they have control. Well, I think right now, Kelly, if he can somehow just get the truck to roll off as Macklin's about to go, I think honestly could work in his favor. I think it could work. He's just got to time it here. He's waiting for it. He's got, there it is. That's it right there. There it is. Try to set it, but Coleman immediately with a big bumper right on the corner trying to set it up. Kelly, much better start. Look at him on the outside. He forced Macklin to drive a little harder on the inside. One last leg up. Can they keep it green? Kelly has a chance. Look at him trying to get him. He's going for broke here. White flag coming out. Can they stay green? Yes, they will. Macklin knows he's got to hold on just one more set of corners to go. Kelly desperately trying to get it to go, but he may have overdone it. Time running out. It may be too little too late. Will he get another chance eventually? That will have to be determined later because he's going to face Backlund winning this one at Rockingham. What a race and what an awe and suspenseful finish to the line. Your race winner, Rockingham, will be the Mac Attack himself, Brian V. Macklin. Major stage points and major implications added on. Oh! And maybe a little bit of a message sent to EJ O'Rourke down there. What a race. Alright, here we go. Race fans, time for your final results. What else can you say about this one? Macklin somehow holds off Kelly on the final restart. Coleman goes third. Gattina fourth. Charles Anchike fifth. Dalton goes sixth. Ramsdale 7. Schmitz 8. Shannon Wood 9th. Cody Sturgill 10th. Rounds out the top 10. Then the rest of your finishers on your screen here out of the 26, man. It was a wild, wild day for all, but boy, was it something. It is time to listen to the top 3 drivers, and there's going to be some storytelling to be had from this one. We start with a guy, though, that really his story has been kind of always in this position. It's always been where we know he can be, which is literally right in the mix with the top 5, if not the top 3 drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, introduce to you Chad Coleman back here on the line here. And Chad, man, yet again, another podium, another hard drive, and it seemed like that final restart, you were going for broke. Big push there onto Macklin's camp there, sir.
Yeah, I anticipated that one a little bit, and we got rolling pretty good. And I got damaged. Pretty early in the race. Me and Glenn actually netcoded off of turn 4, and it gave me about 40 seconds. So the truck was hurt most of the races. It just wouldn't go down the straightaway. But yeah, the end out there was interesting. I mean, I didn't have nothing for him on speed, but we had fun. Still a good night.
Still a good night indeed. Still a lot of hard racing, a lot of mix and matching around here. I know, obviously, you really wanted to try to get yourself another race winning this season, but I mean, the fact you were even able to really pour down the momentum, really hang in there for as long as you did. I mean, really, was that kind of like the position you were kind of hoping for, and really thankful to kind of get around with at least?
Yeah, really. I mean, I was looking at hopefully finishing sixth or eighth. And the attrition right there with the 1 or 2 wrecks we had right there during that last stage, it helped. It helped my finish all out.
Certainly indeed. But nevertheless, though, Coleman, you're going to bring home another podium. Who do you want to thank her for that one?
Yeah, just thanks to everybody at GOAT, and thanks to you for broadcasting. And shout out to Trey Hudson for painting this thing couple years ago now.
A couple years and still looks as good as it can be. Nevertheless, Chad, congratulations bringing this on home for third, sir.
Yep, thanks, man.
Chad Coleman, ladies and gentlemen, going to go home third. Mike Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, probably the broadcast darling for this one, going to go home second again. Kelly, you look like on that last restart, you timed everything as best you could. I presume at this point you just had not enough tire left to get around him.
Yeah, I couldn't do it much better than that. Chad nailed it too. We both nailed it. But Brian's a pretty tough customer. We battled hard earlier, and I was able to get around him, but he was probably, saving his stuff a little bit there. He's good at saving his tires too. So I just wanted to get on that not the last restart, but after the stage, I wanted to go after him as hard as I could and get the lead because it's pretty hard to pass. So I accomplished that, but then he stalked me back down and got around me, and then Tyler caught me, and I let him go. I probably shouldn't have because I thought he was quite a bit faster, but after I let him go, I stayed right with him. So anyway, it didn't matter. Had a lot of action there after those late race yellows like we always do, and brought her home second, had a good run, led some laps, got good stage points. Good night.
Good night indeed. And Kelly, I know obviously playoffs are coming close. You're getting a lot longer into this racing season. Do you think with the final 3 races you got, there may be one track on that schedule you have a chance to finally get this thing into a playoff win?
Oh, man. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what tracks we got?
Tracks you have left. I will name them off again. I named them earlier. You've got currently left on the list WWT Raceway / Gateway, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that big oval there, the 2009 version, and then Nashville Super Speedway before you get to the playoffs, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Gateway's a wild card. I'm not sure. I'm spotty there. I've got experience running there. Don't really like it. It's a really challenging track. The other 2, I can score a win at Indy, and I've definitely run good at Nashville Super Speedway. So just really looking forward to just showing up and running solid like I have all season and get into the chase without any issues and then go to town. We got a lot of good drivers here. It'll be a good chase.
Good chase indeed. Kelly, nevertheless, second place today. Who do you want to thank for this one?
First off, again, not to put you on the spot, but I noticed you've struggled with it. I got to thank Trans Service. It's Trans Service. I know that graphic is hard to read, so I can't fault you on that. But Glenn Campbell, Trans Service guy, I'd like to thank him and all the people, all the fine employees there for sponsoring me and Pedro and some other guys this year. He's a big sim supporter, so it's good for him to get his company to come on board and help out in many different ways in this series. Thanks to you guys at PTM. Thanks to all the admins and all the sponsors at Sim 500. Got to thank NC811 for being an associate sponsor and sponsoring me on Monday nights, and Race City Motorsports, Personal Comfort Beds. I mean, there's a lot of good people here helping us all out, keeping this thing going, all having a good time. And shout out to Turn One Heroes and, of course, the Smoking Hot Wife.
Mike, man, congratulations on bringing it on home second. It's great to see you back on the podium, sir.
Thanks. See you next week.
So we'll see you next week indeed. Mike Kelly, ladies and gentlemen, the darling in the comments section for this one. But your winner today, well, sometimes you wonder, was there any doubt? This guy right here, 4 wins, 3 on asphalt, 1 on dirt. Add Rockingham to it. Macklin, I don't know how many more tracks and variety and differences you can even add. This was got to be one of your toughest ones, though, to master and win on.
Yeah, man, this is actually one of my favorite tracks. So I was looking forward to this one, and I circled it on the calendar. And not going to be too picky, but I am going to just note that this was my 5th win, not my 4th. But
Or your 5th? Okay. My bad.
That's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun. I'm pretty much, with the playoffs being just a few weeks away, every race that we do, I'm looking for playoff points and basically just shooting for the win or nothing. I'm probably not going to be able to take the regular season championship away from Tyler. So at this point, it's just about trying to go and win as many races as possible to stack those playoff points so that when we get into the playoffs, it makes it a lot easier to advance through the couple of rounds to get to that championship 4.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, too. I know even though I have already messed up on one thing in terms of naming how many races you've won, I will name this off, too. You had, on that final restart, a lot of pushing and shoving there from Coleman and Kelly trying to get you on that line. I'll ask this. When Coleman got you, did that in turn kind of actually diffuse the rear spoiler to get a little bit of dirty air to even get a good launch off from that?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know he made contact with me. I was more so focused on just trying to nail the restart, not miss a shift, because I've done that a few times where it's cost me a win, and then just get down into turn 1 and get clear of Mike. I really never even paid attention to the fact that Chad got into me, but definitely the clean air was a big deal. The few times I got behind some lap traffic when I was out in front, it completely changed the way this thing drove. So getting that clean air and staying ahead made a big difference, and I think that's what ultimately got me the win.
5 wins and a whole lot of tracks having to be mastered and dealt with. Playoff points implicated. Macklin, who do you want to thank you for this win at Rockingham?
As always, got to thank you for putting on the broadcast. Got to thank all the men and women that serve our country. That's why I run this paint scheme. It's an honor to them. Got to thank all the admins here at GOAT that put this on, allow us to come in here and race. And, of course, my Sim 500 Cup Series sponsor, Personal Comfort, for putting their logo on the car, even though I've given them a terrible season this year. But we're going to get it turned around. And, yeah, I think that's it.
Well, I can certainly get it turned around with a championship win at the end of this season. So, Macklin, congratulations on bringing this one home, buddy.
Yes, sir. 3 more to go to the playoffs. We're going to try to win 3 more.
Sounds good. Good luck out there. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Brian V. Macklin, your winner today at Rockingham. What a race. What a race. Really, it wasn't anything else, guys. I couldn't even believe it, much less figure it out. But that is probably one of the crazier races I think I've seen in a while and seen for time. So, also for the record, I went off what I was seeing on my standings board for playoff points here. So I only seen 3 checkers by Macklin's name. So just for the record, I didn't know he had 5. I thought he had 4. So apologies in advance. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here, Go Racing League Truck Series coming to an end. We got 3 races left before playoffs. Who the heck knows what's going to happen from there? We just saw one heck of a battle here at Rockingham. So time will tell, but for now, we will say goodbye for now, and we will see you back live Thursday night, unless something pops up tomorrow. You never know with our job. But nevertheless, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much, Sim 500 Racing League as well, and Go Racing League. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Tune in next time.